Okay, in this section, we're going to learn about estimation. The process of arriving at an appropriate or approximate answer to a question. So we really want to just approximate. And there's three methods that we're going to cover in this section. We're going to round numbers, we're going to use graphs to estimate, and we're going to use mathematical models. So let's start by rounding numbers. When you round numbers, you look at the digit to the right of the digit where the rounding is to occur. If the digit to the right is 5 or greater, you add 1 to the digit to be rounded. Replace all the digits to the right of that with zeros. If the digit to the right is less than 5, do not change the digit to be rounded, but replace all the digits to the right with zeros. And by the way, when you see this symbol, it means approximate. So let's try some. Okay, it says round the world population to the nearest. We want to go to the 100 million. Okay, so it goes ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million. So I'm looking at this 8. Now that 8 is either going to stay the same or it's going to go to 9. That's what you look at. This will stay 8 or go to 9. So to determine that, you look at the number on the right. The number on the right is a 4. Okay, I just covered that up. So let me not do that. The number on the right is a 4. Remember, if it's 5 or more, we add. If it's less than 5, we just keep the 8 and turn all of these into zeros. So the correct answer would be 7,800,000,000. Okay, let's look at another one. On this one, we're going to take that number and we're going to round it to the nearest million. Okay, ones, tens, hundreds, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. Okay, and then we end up with million right here. So that's the number we're looking at. We are either going to keep the 3 or we're going to make it a 4. Look at the number on the right. It is a 1. It's less than 5. We keep the 3. And then we turn everything after that. All of these turn into zeros. Let's try one more. Okay, now we want to round it to the nearest 100,000. Okay, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000. So we're doing this number right here. We are either going to keep the 1 or we're going to turn it into a 2. Look at the number on the right. The number on the right is a 6. That's more than 5. We're going to add 1 to that. We're going to turn that into a 2. And then we make everything after that zeros. Let's look at some that are decimals. Okay, this one's example 2. These are the first 7 digits of pi. And we want to round to the nearest 100th. Get a different color so it'll show up better on this slide. Okay, so remember it's tenths with a THS, hundredths, thousandths, and so on. We want to go to the hundredths, okay, with the THS. So tenths, hundredths, we are looking at this 4. We are either going to keep the 4 or make it a 5. Look at the number on the right. The number on the right is a 1. That means keep the 4. Now, when you turn everything after that 4 into zeros, you don't have to show them when it's a decimal, so they don't show it. They just show the 3.14. Let's look at this one. Round to the nearest thousandths. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So we're looking at this 1 right here. We are either going to take that 1 and turn it into a 2, or we're going to keep a 1. The number on the right is a 5. That means we add 1. We turn this into a 2. And then, of course, everything after it would turn into zeros. Let's try one more problem. This one's a word problem. We're going to estimate by rounding. So you purchase bread for $2.59, detergent for $5.17, a sandwich for $3.65, an apple for 47 cents, a coffee for $8.79, and the total bill you were given was $24.67. So you go to the grocery store, and sometimes you look at that and think, that seems to be a little too much. It always helps if you estimate while you're buying, okay? So we're just going to make a quick estimate of this and see if that sounds reasonable. So if you take, all these are listed over here. So we're going to round to the dollar. We're going to keep this quick and easy. So we're going to round the 2, okay? We have a 5 on the right, that rounds to $3. We're going to round the 5. We have a 1 on the right, that rounds to $5. round the 3. You have a 6 on the right, we're going up, round it to $4. Here we have a 0 with a 4 on the right, so we're going to leave it at 0. We're not going to round up to $1. Here we have an 8 with a 7 on the right. We're going to round up to $9. Now this all adds to $21. So 24.67, that doesn't sound very reasonable. If you add them correctly, it's actually $20.67.